What's going on, everybody? You are listening to the Co-Living Show. My name is Craig Curelop,
Miller McSwain.
and we've got a very techie AI episode for you today with Tanya. Miller was very excited. He was like perking the whole time.
Yeah, and kind of the challenge here, we definitely wanted to bring Tanya on because we do talk a lot about AI on the show, or I try to sprinkle it in anyway. But it sounds like kind of a hard thing to get started with. So that's one thing that we really focused on with Tanya here is honestly, she's pretty new to co-living, which is cool. She heard about it a year and a little bit of change, a year and some change ago. And she's already got 2 properties, and she's also pretty early into AI, and she's starting to build out some AI tools for her portfolio. So we thought she was kind of at like a cool level for us to bring in to talk to you guys. Hey, this AI thing sounds super complex, but like, how do you get started? So we give you guys some easy intros into that in this episode.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Tanya too is that she lives in New Jersey, and her properties are in Jacksonville. So she's doing this all remote. She's built a couple AI tools to help her on the asset management side. And so we go into how do you buy properties remotely. So if you're in one area and co-living doesn't work, well, the world is your oyster. So find the area that does. By the way, we are finding it works really well in Colorado. So if you are thinking about Colorado, make sure you hit us up. And yeah, so all great things through this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, cool. Craig, what's been going on in your neck of the woods? We don't hear from you too much and see what's going on like personally. So what's going on with you?
yeah, we have some unfortunate news. We have suffered from the loss of one of our precious cats last week. And I always kind of like not made fun of people like out loud, but at least in my head of bro, it's like a cat, just get a new one kind of thing. That was like always like my like back of my mind mindset, like your life shouldn't be affected. But man, like it took a toll on me and on Grace and on like the whole family because it was just so unexpected. And so yeah, we were pretty upset. And like for the first probably 48 hours, I was like every other thought was just like about this cat. And yeah, so it was a tough end to last week. But I guess like for us, right, that's why like just we were really just like seeking comfort in God and in Jesus. And like that felt really like that is where we were able to get over the crying and the solemn and the sadness. And so we just felt comfort with that. And we're over it now. But yeah, it's the first time I lost anyone close to me. Like I was thinking about why is this hitting me so hard? I'm like, I never lost. The only pet I ever had was a cat growing up, and it died like 10 years after I moved out of the house. Right. So no, like the attachment was gone. No one, I've never lost anybody like super duper close to me. Like unexpectedly, it was always like grandparent that like unfortunately like whatever. It's very sad when grandparents go, but I've lost 2 grandparents, but never like an unexpected 4-year-old thing. So yeah. Anyway, we had a rough weekend, but
I think the Curlop house is a big lover of cats. Whenever I first went over there, Craig, you guys had just taken in a litter. I think I got there and there were like 8 little kittens like running around the garage. And
oh yeah, we had our cats were like our outdoor cats were having babies like crazy. So we ended up getting this baby. Yeah, we were having litters, not for us, but like we gave those away. But this was like our cat, not the like utility cats. This was like our family cat, like the one that's everywhere and has all the memories attached to it. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that term.
Yeah, dude, our utility cat yesterday caught a bunny. I was like,
go.
I like thought mice, bugs got it right, but I was like, you have a bunny in your mouth. That's nuts. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's new in our life. We're good over here now. At least we're healing. But yeah. So
yeah, at least you have that utility cat that bears more cats for you in the future. So more to come.
More to come. Yeah, more to come. We'll probably get another cat in a few months, but we got to end the era. Okay, so that's our cat story. I hope the cat story on podcast does as well as cat videos on like TikTok and stuff, but I guess we'll have to see.
The cat reels usually aren't about them dying, so I have low hopes for this.
Fair enough. Okay, no more cat stuff. Let's bring Tanya Zorov onto the show. Tanya Zorov, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Greg. I'm good. I had a very good weekend, so I'm ready to start this one.
You're coming here. You're talking to us from New Jersey, but we're not really talking about Jersey today, are we?
Yes, I'm coming from New Jersey. Like I'm living in New Jersey with my kids. Yes,
Awesome. And where are your properties at?
in Jacksonville, Florida. Like my co-living properties. I also have
Okay.
one rental in Philadelphia, but it's not co-living in any means.
Okay.
Tanya, you're pretty big in the AI space. Is that right?
I hope so. Yes, I'm just started, but hope to be a biggest. Yes.
Yeah. So you're using, maybe we can just hit on just a couple of things before we start really
Yeah.
diving into your journey. Like what are just some of the sprinkles just to get everyone interested? How are you using AI in your portfolio? Like what's like the 30-second version?
Yeah. So once I had those real estate properties, right, you started to understand that in co-living you have so many numbers. And like I have PadSplit management, my income side, and then you have your expense side, the property managers. So for me, it was like, oh my God, it's so much. So first of all, I use it for numbers. So I gather all my numbers using AI and then building net cash flow, understanding numbers, because co-living has a lot of numbers on top of it. And then on top of it, I build another system because even if I have property manager, there's still some stuff that I need to oversee. It's like my property manager is great, but I'm the one who needs to remember when last time we did like quarterly review or seeing how is any repair needs to be done ahead of time. So like it's little by little, I'm growing my operational system using AI because all these elements eventually scattered all over the place. So I'm finding the way to build it in one space with great user face that AI now allows us to do very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. You want to tell us kind of where, like the status of your portfolio today, and then let's take it back and talk a little bit about how you built that portfolio.
Yeah. So my service co-living started when I went to the Denver to the first one co-living conference, and then I was just so in love with this, I don't know, strategy, let's put it this way, because I also like to be challenged. Okay, I have one rental in Philadelphia and it's Section 8, the same tenant, 5 years, boring. So I wanted to see what is out there. So I went to Denver, I learned about it, and it's okay, let's do it. So me and my life partner just went to Jacksonville and we bought first two properties pretty right away. We were really lucky because we had this event in Jacksonville for co-living investor at the same time that we were looking for property, and it's like, okay, let's hop in. We met a couple there who was selling already operational co-living properties, two of them. So we're like, oh my God, this is a sign. It was a very good deal because from day one you had income. So I didn't have this headache of filling the properties from scratch. I had two, I think, rooms unoccupied, but it was very fast.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's dive into why did you pick Jacksonville? And then also, how did you go about buying an existing co living property? I feel like that's something that honestly folks don't really talk about too much, but that could be a huge leg up. And like you talked about, reducing your risk, reducing your headache, especially if it's like your first house. If someone's already done the remodel and already gotten it filled up a little bit, that could be cool. So, yeah. So, what about Jacksonville and how did you get into buying an existing co living property?
So first of all, I understood that any big city co-living probably work, like the numbers will work, right? So I started to go to PadSplit. They have like inside market insight data for each zip code. I downloaded as much as possible to spreadsheets and started to analyze and like thinking, first of all, I don't want it to be too far away. Like I will not buy on the West Coast. I do want to be in a state that I like. I like Florida. And then what numbers? Like numbers work the best for me. And I pick like three cities and then by elimination, by heart, by feeling, and also looking into Google Maps, like to exploring how streets look like. I decided that Jacksonville probably is the right place and it's also pretty close to home. It's 1.5 hour flight. Yeah, so those vibes, but definitely numbers. I'm a number person.
So how did you find the existing co-living property and how did that process go of take? Because I don't think I've ever bought an existing co-living property. We pretty much are always having to do our own remodels to get it all ready.
We went to local event for co-living investors, and by luck we met this like couple who was selling. That's why we jumped into the opportunity. But like in general, when you try to buy somewhere in out of state, I think the best way is just to with local people, right? Like you just go to local events, you talk to the people, you understand like what's going on. I didn't think I will find any operational co-living. So of course I need to start to building my team the same way I did it in Philadelphia, right? Like who will be a constructor, who will be property manager, like who will be my even real estate agent if I buy from through real estate agent. So that's why I see networking and going like there is a best approach.
If you were to buy a traditional house on the market and then convert it to co-living
Okay.
versus buying an already set up co-living home, like what were the advantages and disadvantages of that?
So advantage pretty visible, right? Operating from day one. You have income from day one. So this was a big win. Everything is already, so this couple specifically, they were fix and flipper. So they know they are very knowledgeable how to build everything inside. So from also property itself was very well maintained. And disadvantage, of course, is that all the furniture, all the look inside was looking different that I was imagining to myself, right? Because like I saw these beautiful homes from a co-living conference that people shared, and I was like, oh my God, it's not organized that I would like the way it will be. It's like even locks, like on a front door it's one type, on other doors it's a different type. Like for me it's like, ugh. Yeah, so this is a big disadvantage, and with the time I needed to replace and make it more operate the same way.
Yeah. So like I guess I'm curious to hear a little bit about I'm curious to hear about the transition, right? Because like you had existing tenants. It was a sloppy, messy house. I'm sure there was no rules in like structure, and the residents probably were okay with that and liked it. But now you're coming in and like putting all these rules and structure into place. Did you have any turnover in that time?
I didn't put rules.
Oh,
Like I did not put like rules on the walls, you are not allowed to do that and that. Like my character in general, like my is first to listen to see what's going on and then change what is not working. So I did not put any rules. I left the same as it was and started to watch. Like I'm watching the conversation, I'm talking to my tenants. I also present them to them like in person over there. Like I said hello, they knew that we are like new owners, so we had a little bit personal touch as well. So it was more like technical changing than rules changing. I'm still debating with myself, should I do any massive changes? And for now it works, so I'm not touching. I did not touch what worked. Let's put it this way. And also I left the same property manager, and it helps a lot, of course.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So same management was still in place. So you
Yeah.
were mostly coming in, not as changing the operations of the property, but you came in, management stays in place. So the rules probably don't need to change too much. So I guess what did you change whenever you came in that the tenants could feel from their perspective? Was there anything that you changed?
Every time the tenant was like left, like new tenant supposed to come, I was change furniture, adding TVs, adding desk where it possible, lamps to make it more modern. With internet, I also replaced to more fast internet. So those smaller, it's mostly around rooms. Like each time I had a room not occupied, I made changes in the room, and then of course on PadSplit pictures and stuff. So
I gotcha. Okay. So one more question kind of about this first property that you have here. Whenever you bought it, so a potential advantage, it sounds like, is that the remodel is already done and potentially that the furnishing is already done, like you talked about. How are existing co-living properties priced? For example, like I'm thinking, all right, in Denver, Craig and I might buy a house for $500K. Maybe we need to do a $50,000 remodel to get it ready for co-living, adding 4 or 5 rooms, adding bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. Is this sort of property priced at the typical price plus the remodel, or are you actually getting kind of a good deal because the remodel is already done and you don't have to go in and do it yourself? Yeah, just how do they price it considering that?
I'm not sure how they price it, but the price was pretty the same as you will buy a regular house without co-living. So that's
Okay, but
why
how many
I like
beds?
it even more. Yeah. So those are not big properties. Those are 7 and 6 rooms each. But even 7, like I can tell prices. Okay. So for 7, I believe it will 260K, and for 6 room it was 220K. I think it's a good price for operating co-living property.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So for folks out there, that's the biggest advantage that I see is, like you said, the property is already filled, but just not having to do the remodel takes off, who knows, like 12 weeks of vacancy or 8 weeks or maybe even more. Plus, maybe you're not paying as much for that remodel whenever you buy it and it's already baked in. You didn't have to bring 50K. Maybe you are paying a little bit over typical asking, maybe, but maybe it's even the same as normal asking. And now you didn't have to bring all that remodel money.
I will say from talking to buyers and sellers of co-living properties is that you don't really get a premium for having a co-living property already set up typically. As a co-living buyer, I know that I can go buy a property that's decent on the market, and an appraiser is not going to look at, oh, is this 10 bedrooms or all that kind of stuff. So if you get traditional financing, like I would not overvalue a renovation to co-living. Like it's truly a cash flow play. There's really nothing else much there. Just setting the expectation. Yeah. So Tanya, you bought those houses for 260 and 220. You said, oh, sorry, Miller, go ahead.
Hey guys, the tool I've been talking about forever, Co-Living Pro, is now officially live. So some of the biggest problems that I've encountered around co-living are always on the marketing side. So you can think of Co-Living Pro as a marketing software or a tool to help you overcome some of these marketing issues that we all run into in the co-living space. So number one, it helps you determine what to price your room at and then how to change that price over time. And that's actually a free tool. You can go there to colivingpro.io, and there's a little like rentometer type tool where you can punch in an address, punch in a zip, punch in a city, and kind of see what rooms might rent for there. But it does that for you. And number two, historically, for us to keep our rooms operating at full capacity, especially when we're off a PadSplit, it's meant that we had to post on Zillow, post on Zumper, post on Apartments, post on Roomies, post on all these places. And with just a 5-bedroom house, that's already 20 listings right there, which is a lot of work, a lot of time and effort. So Co-Living Pro helps you solve this. You just make your listing on this one site and it pushes it to Zillow, pushes it to Zumper, and we even support any platform with the manual listing manager. So you can still be on Apartments, still be on Roomies, still be on PadSplit, still be on anything. And it's kind of a wizard that helps you stay organized, your VA stay organized. It shows you what rooms need to be posted where with just quick copy paste prompts. Copy your rent over, copy your description over, boom, you're good to go. And number three, historically, now that you're on all these sites, we always had to hop in daily or at least weekly to keep these listings up at the top, keep the pricing up to date. So Co-Living Pro solves that for you too. It's making those adjustments for you on a daily basis, even an hourly basis, to make sure your listings are updated across your platforms. So you guys know everything I've always done has been free. The community is free. This podcast is free. I'm super proud of that and definitely going to keep doing all that. But this tool is paid, but I feel comfortable doing that because the numbers are honestly pretty insane. So if you go to Co-Living Pro, there is a calculator where you can do this for your own situation. But let's take that example earlier of the 1 5-bedroom property. From that, we estimate you'll make an extra $1,400 a year in extra rent and reduced vacancy. And that is 5x what the tool costs. Let me say that again. This tool produces 5x the return of what it costs. So in this example, that's actually a better return than most co-living properties themselves, being around 15, 16%. So seriously, to me, this is a no-brainer. So head over to colivingpro.io. This is the tool that I built for my own business, and I'm so happy that I can finally share it with you guys. And back to the episode. Yeah, I just brought up a question I wasn't even thinking about. But speaking of appraisers and speaking of lending, we know that whenever we're doing remodels, it can be an issue if we were to make a property a 10-bedroom and then we want to go do a refinance, like whenever we already own the property. But from a buyer's perspective, if you're buying a house, let's take this to, let's say, what's the biggest bedroom count that you've bought or refinanced, Tanya?
so I only have those two, so I don't know how to talk about other properties. But in my case, because I took DCR loan, it was not an issue because property already had income. Like DCR is based on income, so for me it was a very easy transaction. The only thing is appraisal, of course. But we work with appraisal who is working for co-living investor, of course, so he know how to appraise. We got the same price as we bought them, so it was very luckily everything was turned out to be perfect in this deal.
Yeah, so it sounds like it was a co-living friendly appraiser. I think that you would have potentially encountered problems if it was just a standard appraiser and who came in and sees this 7-bedroom, 8-bedroom house. Is there a living room at this property or has it been converted?
No, just kitchen. There's no living room. They everything was converted except of kitchen, of course.
Okay. Yeah. And we've also heard stories about appraisers coming in who are totally normal, and then they don't see a living room in the house, and then they won't appraise it because they're like, this isn't a house. A house requires a living room. Can you speak to like, how did you get a co-living friendly appraiser?
Through co-living, DSCR, mortgage guy.
Okay.
Like you meet people, it's like building your team, right? We talked about it. When you go to new city, you need to have your team, and they know each other. So if I start real estate agent, he will advise who to go with to have appraisal or mortgage loan, how to take mortgage. So yeah, it's all about meeting the right people, talking, and also like taking it. Like I had couple of them that I interviewed before even start working with them. So you're just choosing by what they done, and especially what's important for co-living. Yes, I think a year, 2 years ago, this community of co-living was so small, like everyone knew each other. So it was easy to find those DSR loan guys and like real estate agents. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So one last thing before we keep moving on here. So who was your lender on this deal?
Jeff, I forgot his family name, but
Jeff Weller?
he's known.
Yeah. We were supposed to record with him 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and we just moved
Really?
it. So yeah, for all the listeners, you'll hear from Jeff here soon. I don't know him that well, so I'm excited to get to know him. But I do just want to point out here, nothing here is illegal. I know there's been a lot of talk since 08 about you can't pick your own appraiser and all that kind of stuff. But if you do know the right people, there are certain ways to do pretty much anything correctly. So what I've heard from Fernando, who operates similar to Jeff, is that whenever you do DSCR loans, you can't exactly pick your appraiser because of 08, that there was like a lot of shenanigans going on with that. But you can pick your own appraiser panel. So the regulations say that you need to have at least 3 people that you can, that are randomly selected from to be your appraiser. And under DSCR, you can pick who those 3 people are. Like whenever I've talked to Fernando, and this is why you want to talk with the top co-living specialized people, because short-term rental, this may not matter. Long-term rental, this may not matter. But if you're with the right lender and they do a lot of volume in Jacksonville, okay, great. They probably have 3 appraisers they've talked to who knows about the living room thing, who knows that there's 8 beds, 9 beds, 10 beds. And when you randomly pick from those 3 people, they're all good. So you get a good person out of that. So nothing illegal there. You just got to know the right lender.
Good. Yeah. I don't even know how he did it. He just did it, and
Perfect.
I trusted him.
Awesome. All right, moving on here. All right, so let's start talking about you managing remotely, okay? And I think you said that you did have a property manager. So how did that go for you managing remotely with that property manager in place?
We met in person, of course, before starting working together. She explained me how she works, what is done, like the regular cleaning, landscaping, like all the operational systems they have around managing properties, co-living properties. So my property manager is Kathleen, and she's also very known in Jacksonville. I think she was the first one who started to manage those kind of properties. So it also very helpful because when even tenants move from house to house, she knows people. Okay, so she knows tenants from other houses. So my management is more like, I do watch tenant messaging. I do want to understand what's going on. When it's something need to be repaired, I'm reaching out to her. If she reached out to me, it depends who first saw the message. But it's we are good. We are like any problems that we have, we can resolve together. We will talk to tell on a phone and decide what to do in this case. But mostly she knows how to do it because she has all the team already in place in Jacksonville. So if it's plumbing problem, she already has a plumbing person. If it's something too small to fix, she has. So it's not even my headache. My headache is more like if something big happens in a property, to decide what we're doing with it.
Is this person on PadSplit?
Yes.
It is PadSplit. Okay. So PadSplit takes care of all the leasing side, and then she takes care of all the maintenance side. I'm curious, how do those economics work? Like, how much are you paying PadSplit, and how much are you paying this person to manage it?
PadSplit, you have 8% as a management, and then for each new tenant, you pay 10 booking days. So since I do have my dashboard in my numbers, so usually it's 10% in addition. So PadSplit fee is almost 18%. Yeah, it sounds a little bit crazy, but this is a reality. Even you think it's 8%, but eventually if your tenants move in and out, these percentages grow with the time. And now property manager, it's just 6%. Yeah, it's
6%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for the listeners out there, there's kind of two different management models in co-living that we see pretty often. And one of them is kind of what Tanya's in here, which is where, all right, you're listed on PadSplit, that's your primary marketing platform, and you pay them the initial percentage plus those first 10 days. Sounds like in your case, that's around the 18% total. And then also, in addition to that, I guess Tanya could be managing herself on top of PadSplit, but she brought in a manager to take care of the maintenance, take care of actually looking at PadSplit, getting those leads in and everything. And that's an additional, in this case, like 6%. So 18% or so plus 6%. And then there's the other route that we see. You guys know we had Justin. Oh, geez. I was going to start saying his last name. I'm going to go for it. Lecuyer. There we go. Thank you for the save. So, we had Justin on, who's a property manager outside of PadSplit. Craig and I manage outside of PadSplit. And in both of our cases, I think maybe they are 15% and we're 16%. And then there's no PadSplit fees on top of that. So anyway, long story short, there's kind of two different routes that you could go here. And if you're looking for a new property for a new market, that's a decision that, you would have to make.
Right.
Tanya, do you have any experience with the other side of that, doing non-PadSplit, and any advice for folks like how to pick PadSplit plus a manager or just a manager?
I prefer PadSplit because, first of all, those properties already on PadSplit, and I like that they are looking for tenants, even if maybe it's a cheaper way to do that. I just wanted not to have any headache around finance and around collecting payments from tenants. So now I know there is more softwares out there that people build to manage it. But when I bought my first property, there's nothing else except of PadSplit, right? So people were managing on piece of paper, let's put it as spreadsheets, right? And then with the time now, I do know other people who build those software platforms that you can now join and not pay PadSplit 8%. I do that, but not yet. I'm still not there.
I gotcha. Okay, so earlier I heard you mention your dashboard. So did you find that PadSplit being like pretty much your only visibility into the management and the operations of the property, was that limiting, or like what sort of problems did you encounter that prompted you to start building out your own tools or considering other tools for your stack?
So first of all, PadSplit is only income side, right? And even income side, PadSplit doesn't have good dashboarding. You can go to the PadSplit, and now they have a little bit more advanced feature, but before that it was just 3 files that you download and then load to Excel and then look at it and what the hell is going on. So they are sending you detailed build invoicing and collecting invoicing and also all the fees that they count from, and you need to understand if the calculation is correct, right? Like, it's good they have the system, but you also need to, you trust but check, right? So the first tool that I built is just to check that whatever was built is correct, and then whatever is collect is reflecting on what was built. So this is a part of income, and also then calculate the fees and see that the fees are calculated correctly, not only 8%, but also those 10 days booking days. So PadSplit doesn't have any good dashboarding. That's why I decided to download it. And in my W2, like my professional career, I'm building data solution for clients. So this is my world. That's why it was easy for me. I was like just building system for myself. And then for expense side, I have my QuickBooks. So that's why I decided to marry those both sides, but see it in one big picture and not scattered.
Yeah. So I guess, how did you actually bring those together? And is this something that someone outside of a data solutions background can do, or is this just kind of unique to your skill set?
I think with AI now you can also download PadSplit CSV files and just say, I want to understand these numbers. Can you help me with? And it will do the job. But you do need to understand what you're looking at. And for the expenses for QuickBooks, I connected through API, so it's more technical. But you also can download the Excel files for expenses and load to the same AI and ask, build me net cash flow calculation. So everything is possible now, but I just built something more progressed with it because I know how to build data solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So if we were to give the listeners maybe two options here of like how to do this in the quickest, easiest way, maybe like the export thing you're talking about, what would be the quickest, easiest way for people to get data insights? And then maybe what's one step up, like you talked about, maybe connecting with an API, what's like the next step up for a non-technical person to get the visibility?
The easiest is just create project. If you use Cloud Code or ChatGPT, whatever. I use Cloud because that's why I will use language for Cloud. But you create project, you explain that this is a project to do my monthly calculation for net profit. I will load this and that. And your goal is to calculate my net cash flow and give me detailed summary of all my expenses and income. So this is the fastest way. And then every month you just load those 2 files, one from your expense, QuickBooks or whatever bookkeeping system you have, all 3 files from PadSplit, and here you go. You don't need to explain every month what to do. On top of it, if you want to be more wild, you can build artifact. So it's kind of user interface also in Cloud, and it can show you in great design how to look correctly on your numbers. So this is a fastest way for not technical people.
Yeah, awesome. So just to totally recap for everyone, all you have to do is go to Claude.com or Claude.ai, I think it is. Start a new project, take your export from PadSplit, take it from QuickBooks, throw it in there. And honestly, after you do that, literally all you have to do is ask questions. You could ask it to tell it about the most critical things you should look at. It's very good at interpreting everything. So boom, you just start asking questions. Maybe the next month you do the same exact thing. Yeah, you take those exports, put them in. Maybe by the end of that month, you just say, hey, I want to make this more automated. And it will tell you what Tanya just told you. It will walk you through building out the entire thing. Oh, hey, I want to put it on a website so I can log in. Great. I was talking with another PadSplit guy recently, and like he's built out all these kind of dashboard tools too. And he didn't know anything about AI, didn't know anything about development, didn't know anything about data solutions, like nothing. He just put these exports in there and just asked it to make it more automated. And it will walk you through all these steps. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be Tanya. Basically, you guys are Craig in this scenario. So it's not that hard.
I was going to say, you don't have to be Craig. Okay, Tanya, I'm going to pivot here a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about humans. I know that doesn't excite you that much, but obviously, being in New Jersey, managing remotely, you've got, of course, PadSplit, who's kind of the behemoth, but you've got this property manager who's truly integral to making sure that your portfolio runs appropriately. How did you meet, interview? How did you determine that this person was like your person?
For me, it was just convenient because she was already there and she already knew all tenants. And also, like when you hire someone new to your team, it's not the end of the world. You can replace with someone else, right? So why I would touch something that works. So I decided first to see how it goes, and then decide if it's the temporary solution or if it's final solution. And background check, of course. I asked people around because by then I already knew a couple of co-living investor in Jacksonville. And that's how you go around. Yeah, you ask and you just see how it goes.
So curious here, Tanya, like what are your numbers on this one? So like what's the monthly rent? Because I know you're into it, but what is your, I guess like you bought one for 260, one for 220. How much did you put down? And then like, what is your net numbers?
So down is 20% for each property because a DCR loan, it starts with 20%. Those are my numbers. In general, those two are incoming after PadSplit fees, 7,500. Sometimes it's 69, because it's weekly payment. Sometimes you have less weeks on a month, so the payment is income is less, gross income is less. So it's between 6,900 and 7,500 for both of them.
Oh wow, okay, and that's net. Is that gross or net?
This is after PadSplit. It's what I receive from PadSplit. So it's gross minus PadSplit fee.
Gotcha. And then you've got your 6% management fee on that, and then any other.
Yeah, and then on top of it, you have expenses from other side. Yes, not from PadSplit.
Gotcha. Do you know what your like net number is? Like what you could actually go and spend in?
For 2,500, so currently my average, because you have months here, it depends what happened in the property and how many occupancy you had, but it's 2,500 for both of them.
Total.
Average from the point I bought it, it's August 2025. So it's almost 1 year. No, 2 years.
Okay. No. 1 year.
1 year, yes.
Crazy how fast the years go by. Yeah. Or how
we need to interview Tanya's AI next and just ask it the questions.
Yeah. My AI knows everything. Yes, it's crazy.
One just like super quick thing I want to point out, Craig, and I'll give it back. But I've heard Tanya mention twice how much she values talking to real people to find recommendations. So whenever I asked her earlier about, hey, like where did you find this property that was already operating as co-living? PadSplit has a marketplace online, and I think that's where most people would go. But Tanya found hers talking to real people that go to meetups, people that are involved in the community. Same idea with the manager. You can go around to these communities, talk to them. Hey, have you heard of this manager? How well do they do? Should I sign up with them or not? So in both cases, Tanya did not default to the AI answer of researching things online, although that can totally weigh
Yeah.
in. Really, in our case, we even get our AI to go on Facebook and talk to real people. We're putting AI in there. But hearing from real people's real stories, real reviews is a lot more impactful than just jumping straight to the online answer. And it seems like Tanya's had success with that. So tangent over.
Even if I less like networking, I did it anyway because for meeting people, you need to talk to people. It's no other way around. Especially like in co-living with such a great community. Like it's crazy how people know each other in co-living community.
Totally.
It's definitely a small world. So Tanya, could you just maybe, I think we've got into a lot of detail here. I know there's kind of like the asset management side, which is like what you're doing really. And then you've got like the whole co-living operation side, which is what PadSplit / your manager is doing. As someone that is like relatively passive, like at least in terms of co-living, you're relatively passive. What is your comprehensive like tech stack that you use? Like Claude, it sounds like QuickBooks, it sounds like. What else are you using?
So I'm using also my operational system that I'm building. It's still in the build, that gathering information from everything. So my QuickBooks is my quick booking system. PadSplit is my income management, and then I merge everything into operational system, like my second brain, I called it, where I also have other stuff like different repairs we did on the property, when it happened, what happened there, just to track how often it happens. And then I have my dashboarding where I have very detailed line by line every month what happened, my members, who is what rooms are making money, what rooms are less making money. And as well, I also have data for how market is doing. So I have based on monthly basis downloading PadSplit data for rents. I'm looking for next property, so I now have also place to go and see for each zip code how many units there are from PadSplit, what is the prices, and then my underwriting calculator, of course, is automatic. So I have my automation that taking Gmail like and parsing it and underwriting properties on the fly, so I can see what is potential for me to look into instead of going and clicking on each property and reviewing it. So it's mostly custom build. Let's put it this way. I don't think there is any tools there for this.
Yeah, I think we're falling into the same bucket. Things are just becoming more and more custom and harder to explain on a podcast. So thank you for trying. But really, I think the learning lesson here, just like I was saying earlier, is you can build this yourself literally just by talking, like by talking to a project or a chat in one of these different services. But I heard you mention the word second brain, which I see like all over YouTube when I'm checking out different AI videos and how to build your own dashboards and build your own tools. So where are you learning most about AI? Your degree is not in AI. Most people's degrees aren't in AI. If that is, I guess it's probably a major now, but it wasn't it previously. So where are you actually learning about this stuff so that you know what questions to ask your chats?
So first of all, I'm on school. In school, you have a lot of communities. The most popular is like Nate, Eric, right, Sabrina, Romanov. So I'm learning from them, of course. I do invested in courses to learn how to build with AI. So I'm not just, because I build also software for other people. So I have 2 software that I also selling. That's why I needed to learn it from scratch. Like what is it, how to do the build the correct way. Because yes, as you said, you can go and just talk to Claude. But if you're building something more complex, you will need to learn, because very fast you will be like, okay, it's not going the way I wanted it, fudge it, right? Like you don't want to even proceed with it. So I did decided to know, like to learn about it. And it's crazy because every day you can see every YouTuber like pushing something new. There is like Claude added this feature and ChatGPT added this feature. And you look at it, it's like, oh my God, what is happening in the world? And it's so hard to follow, right? So like I'm just filtering a lot. Like whatever I need, I'm taking, I'm learning. Whatever I don't need, I'm just disagreeing. So it started from automation. It probably me, like it started from NNM and from make.com that you build automation. Now it's more progress. Now Cloud can make those automations for you, but you do need some kind of basic knowledge how to prompt exactly Claude and what to tell him that it will be also sustainable. Like, of course, you can build anything, but your code will be not as good as if you learn how to do that. And every time like you will go to the session with Cloud Code, for example, you will need to explain yourself instead of building those MD files that will know you, will be your like assistant no matter when you connect it to this Cloud Code. So yeah, like there is definitely education around it, as I learned, I think, in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, totally agree. There's definitely a ton of info out there on YouTube. I definitely agree with one of your recommendations, Nate Herk. So Herk is Herk. I think he's really good for, let's say, like intermediate. I think if you guys like know nothing and you're interested in hopping into some AI stuff, there's this channel called AI Advantage. Have you seen this one, Tanya?
No, who's leading it?
I don't remember his name. He did a Tony Robbins AI event from 2 months ago. He was like partnered up with them. But yeah, so I think super beginner. He talks about chatting. Yeah, he talks with the Chat GPT, talks with Claude, and that's the extent. Like I think that's step 0 for a lot of people if you want to hop in. But yeah, then Nate Herk, I think would be like a great second step for people. He starts to get a little bit deeper, and then of course you can go way further than that. All right, Tanya, maybe my last thing here about all this AI stuff that we're talking about. Earlier, you mentioned your dashboard. If an investor could open one screen every morning, what should it immediately tell them?
For finance, is mostly your numbers, like your income versus expenses, like your net cash flow, and also cash on cash returns. Those are important to check every month, because even if I started very high with income, eventually tenants started to move out. And this is when hurts the best, like the worst, when your tenant, especially something happened to me in 1 month, 4 tenants left. And it was new for me. So that month I even went to minus. So it's very important to track your numbers and to understand if you don't have, if your property is, for example, 80% full, you're starting to lose money. It's not good. And also it shows me maybe I need to raise my rent to get to the net income. And also I learned that maybe 7.6 is too little rooms, like too fewer rooms. Like next property, I definitely want 8+. So looking at the numbers and understand each month that something happened, what can happen with your net cash flow is very important for you, because you can learn from it and not make a mistake in the future, but also understand what the next property look like for you. And for me, it was 8 rooms for sure. My next will not be 7, not 6, 8. And I saw a lot of properties who selling like 7, 6 rooms. No, thank you. Yeah, because when tenants moved out, the income is hitting you.
Yeah. And so I guess, what do you look like? I guess, when are you looking to buy your next one? And then how are you going to find an 8-bedroom? What's your strategy there?
Square feet, of course, like houses that has potentially 2,000 square feet. I have my price that should be my areas that I like in Jacksonville. I'm staying away from high cry areas. I'm afraid even of those because I heard stories. I don't even know. I don't want to be there. So I do check crime score. I do know Jacksonville by now by zip code. You can ask me about zip codes. I don't know where they are in Jacksonville. So it's very important to know your city you invest in. And so it's square feet, price, area, of course, and layout of the house. But in Florida, they all the same, like one floor, one level. Very easy to make it co-living, by the way, like the way they build it in Jacksonville.
Awesome. Yeah, square footage is so huge. That's what's probably what we look most out for as well. And so like, what are some of your goals, Tanya, for like your next, let's call it the next year? How many properties do you want to buy? Where do you see your business going?
My heart is divided between buying a property and doing AI. So it's hard for me to say. Like I'm currently more investing in AI. I just want to like finish to build my operational system, not only operational but also like oversee of, and also to automate to find those properties. So I think I first will put focus on AI, and then my goal like to buy another 2 by the end of this year. But let's see how it goes, because as I said, I love both of technical field and also like co-living properties, so it's hard for me. And also have my W2, guys, so it's crazy. It's very crazy in my life now.
Yeah, totally. Wow. Tanya, have you heard of this term called AI vampire?
No, what is that?
Okay, I think you have it. And I think I have it too. It is a condition, I've read about it online, but it is a condition that I find myself in, and you might be in it too, where whenever you really start to get into AI, you probably have 4, 5, 10 different chats going at one time. And people who are like really getting good with this, they're having like a lack of sleep and like a lack of doing other things, like you said that you might want to focus on AI versus like acquiring, because we feel like we are getting so much done that every second we're not at our keyboard, like those chats aren't moving forward anymore. So every time I'm not spending at the keyboard, it's 5 employees or 10 employees or 20 employees that aren't really working. And I feel like that all the time I'm away from my desk. Do you sympathize here?
I have 4 sessions of cloud code as we speaking.
Exactly.
And when I go to sleep, I always make sure that I have some task for my session to finish before. And I'm telling him, I'm going to sleep. Please finish this and that. It's so fine. In the morning, like I say, good night. So it's your team now, like those cloud code windows. It's crazy, but I agree with you.
Are these running like on this? This must going to be a dumb question, I think. Are these running on the same computer, or do you have a separate computer for all
No,
your
on my
stuff?
computer. Yeah,
On your computer.
I just bought good one. Yeah, so you can run simultaneously a couple of sessions.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Tanya, I think it's about time to head into the final part of the show. Anything else you want to spit at her before we head into the you know what?
You know what? I'll just say, Tanya, good luck with your AI vampirism disease, and I hope everyone wishes us to get better. But in the meantime, yes,
possible.
we're stage 4, I think. But
Yeah.
all right, but yeah, let's continue on towards the big three. Okay.
All right, Tanya. What's one? Well, this was going to be an easy one. What's one tool or system you use in your business that you could not live without?
Cloud code.
Yeah, I was going to almost say you can't say Claude Code, but fair enough. We'll give
My
it to you.
operational system built on cloud code. Yeah, with cloud code. Yes.
Yeah.
Tanya, is there an alternative? What's the second runner-up to Claude Code that you would use in place of Claude Code? What's the second runner-up?
Every AI has the same as cloud code. I just choose cloud code. But like my advice, start small, like starting with projects in AI, but also focusing on how you can make it build that you can use tomorrow and not just this time. So every time you run chat, think about maybe you should make from a task, or maybe you should make from a project or artifact or whatever. And I think everyone needs to learn AI, even if you don't want to be in a league that didn't use cloud code, because it's really improving our time and we can focus on more important stuff than reviewing, invoicing, and putting together like spreadsheet and documents. Yes.
Cool. All right. Question number 2 of the big 3. What's one transaction, renovation, or operator horror story that you've experienced? And what did that teach you?
It's from my Philadelphia rental.
Okay.
It's not this horror. It's just, this is a rental property, Section 8. So I have the same tenant for 5 years. It sounds right, very good story. But as you know, rental, they don't have net cash as you have for co-living. It's very small. I think now like 450. In one very sunny day, I discovered that the roof is leaking and I need to replace the roof. And you know how much it's to replace the roof. So I learned that in Philadelphia, the roofs are flat. They are very affected by rain. And with the time, if someone did not do a good job, it can leak and you have no choice just to replace the roof. And that's what happened to me. I didn't know about this flat. Don't buy houses with flat roof. This is my 2 cents. I learned it the hard way.
Yeah, I would never.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No one told me.
That's why you learn. Yeah, that's good. So
and then all my income from 5 years went to the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, those big capex. I will say a part of real estate investing are those capital expenditures. They all hit. I got hit with like tons of them this year with my portfolio, like multiple sewers, a roof, multiple furnaces, multiple AC. It's just, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was, but you have to prepare for that. You do have to prepare for it. You have to be able to withhold it. And like long term, those properties have appreciated like multiple 6 figures, and the cost of a roof is like 10 grand. So it does still add to your wealth generated. It still adds to your wealth.
Yes, agree. Yeah. And also you learn, like I learned the most from my first property. I did it like BRRRR strategy. So it's renovation from scratch. Yeah, I learned so much, even if I did not cash out eventually a lot. But I think the first property I learned the most.
For sure. Tanya, outside of this podcast and our Facebook community, where are you learning the most about co-living today?
So I'm in communities also. Lately in school, you have a couple of communities for co-living. You have David, you have Andres. So also going to the calls with them just to see what other people about. So you need to stay in touch, mostly on Facebook. I think the co-living is living in Facebook. Unfortunately, I like school more, but it's a lot of going on Facebook. There's tons of communities. So I would say go and connect to those groups, read what people say, learn, because everyone has some other knowledge that you learn, even if you don't experience for your co-living properties. And also networking, of course. I think Facebook is the best place for co-living to start with, yeah, if you want to networking.
Awesome. Cool. Tanya, thanks so much for coming on. Before we get you out of here, where can listeners find more about you? Where can they message you? Where can they talk to you about all this AI stuff?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm starting my YouTube channel. It's still not up, but I'm going to also do some cool videos how to, in easy way, to set up stuff for co-living as co-living investors. So for now, it's just Facebook, but then I will advertise more. So my goal for this year also to learn other people to use AI.
Awesome. Well, very good. Thanks so much, Tanya, for coming on, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And that was Tanya Zorov. Miller, what do you think of Tanya?
Woo. Me and Tanya are, like we said, we're stage 4 AI vampires. I definitely got a lot from the show, and I hope everyone else out there did. But I would say I really think the next step for everyone is exactly what Tanya said as step 0. Go to Claude.ai. If we were to give really concrete steps. Go there, make an account. I'm pretty sure you can do a lot of this for free. Maybe you need like a $10 a month plan or something. It's as much as Netflix, but you get a lot more value out of it. So go sign up for that. Go do your export from PadSplit or wherever you collect income. Used to, back in my self-managing days, we used Inago. Same idea, rent ready, blah, blah, blah. Do your export, throw it in there. Do your export from your bookkeeping, throw that in there, and just start asking questions. And literally that's 3 or 4 steps. And I think that you guys will be well ahead of most co-living investors as far as their AI use goes. You'll have a lot more insight into your numbers. Like Tanya was talking about, you'll know, oh, my cash flow is doing good. Oh, it's not. You'll be able to ask it, hey, for my next buy, should I do the same thing I did last time? Should we do something different? So anyway, 3 or 4 really easy steps just to get you guys started.
Boom. Miller, thanks for that recap, because I couldn't have done it. And hey, if you guys are looking for more co-living type content, make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you leave us a rating and review. It helps us tremendously. And also, if you are looking for, like, if you're in the Colorado area, or Washington, Spokane area, we are doing management up there now. So if you are wanting a turnkey co-living solution, we will help you acquire it. We will help you renovate it. We will help you furnish it, and then we will help you manage it. And it is still a lot cheaper than what you'll pay PadSplit plus a property manager. So if you're interested in that, hit us up. I think for now we're super official. Just hit us up on Instagram, Craig Curelop, and eventually we will have a landing page for you on the website. So
yes,
we're in the early stages, but we are chock full of about 150 to 180 rooms right now. We're definitely, what we're building is working, and we want it to work at a high level for all of you.
Yep, absolutely. Can't wait to talk to some of you guys.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Miller, I got nothing.
All right. Well, Craig said his handle. Mine's also at Miller McSwain. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys. And otherwise, we will be talking to you guys next episode next week. All right.
Later.
Thanks.